Hi, my name is Julian Wolf, and welcome to me rating all of the elements on the periodic table because I want to. I'm not going to be rating anything past 108 because those elements exist for a fraction of a second before disappearing, and to be honest, there's nothing that cool about them. So that means this episode's only going to go up to 54, and I'll be doing the rest in another episode. The rating criteria are going to be how much I like them, and that's it. It's only based on whether or not I think they're cool. So, we're going to be starting off with old reliable hydrogen. And hydrogen, it's the building block of everything. It comes out of everything. It's actually everywhere. And I love hydrogen. Hydrogen's awesome. Hydrogen's going to get like an 8.5. Next up, we have helium. Now, if I'm honest, helium is kind of sucks. It's like worse hydrogen. It's kind of like taking hydrogen's whole thing. Makes your voice all funny, I guess, but hydrogen does that too. So, helium's just not as good. I'll give it a 6, I'd say. Next up is going to be lithium. Lithium's pretty awesome. You get lithium-ion batteries, all that stuff. It's a cool name. I think there's a Nirvana song called Lithium, so I'll give that a 7.2. Beryllium's awesome. I like the name. It reminds me of the color green. I'm going to have to go with a 7.5, maybe 7.7. Next is boron. Boron is cool, but the name kind of throws me off. I don't really like saying it. So we'll go with 6.2 for boron. Carbon's great. Carbon is everything. You're made of carbon. Trees are made of carbon. A lot of rocks have carbon in them. A lot of things have carbon in them. It's pretty awesome how carbon's just everywhere. So I think carbon is actually going to be the first 10 on this list. Next is going to be nitrogen. Nitrogen's awesome in one sense, in that, actually, let's say two, in that you can make liquid nitrogen, which is super cold and pretty awesome, and it's most of the air around us, which is kind of awesome too. What I don't get is how the Avatar from The Last Airbender, how the airbenders in general, how they move air. Are they moving nitrogen, or are they just moving the whole air? In that case, what defines air? If there's just a tank of oxygen, can they move that? Who knows? Anyways, oxygen. Oxygen's a simple 10. Moving on. Fluorine is sick. Fluorine's so cool. It binds with stuff. It's super reactive. Fluorine's a 9.6 easily. Neon is also cool. It makes these cool signs. It lights up. It's really awesome. I'll give neon 7.1. So now we go to sodium. Sodium's cool. Super reactive as well. You can get salt with sodium and chlorine. That's pretty cool. So for sodium, I think I'm feeling an 8.8. Yeah, 8.8 for sodium. Magnesium sucks. 4.9. I'm not going to elaborate. Aluminum's cool, but it's all flimsy. I don't like that cans are made of aluminum. So we're gonna have to go right down the center with a 5.1 maybe. Silicon is awesome. Tons of stuff with technologies made of silicon. It's one of my favorite foods to eat. I eat silicon daily. So I'm gonna have to say 8.3. 8.3. Phosphorus is weird. I think it smells bad. I know sulfur smells bad, but phosphorus kind of stinks. So 4.8. I don't like sulfur. It's weird. It's gross. It's yellow. It smells bad. It just kind of sucks overall. One of my least favorite, if I'm honest. I'm gonna have to give it a 3.5. Yeah, 3.5. So chlorine's cool. Chlorine gas is kind of whack, but they put chlorine in pools. They mix it with sodium. It makes salt. That's pretty sick. So chlorine's gonna get an 8.2. Argon's weird. It's number 18, by the way, if I haven't been listing the numbers on screen, which I think I should be. But argon's cool. And I'm gonna have to say argon is... Well, to be honest, I don't know a ton about it. I know it's a noble gas, so it doesn't bond with much stuff. But I'm feeling a 7.9 on argon. So, potassium. Potassium's in bananas, and monkeys eat bananas, and I love monkeys. So, potassium's going to be a 9.2 already. I can already feel it. I'm not going to elaborate. Actually, I will elaborate. Potassium's cool. It's also super reactive, like sodium. You throw it in water and it starts doing crazy stuff. It's also really soft, even though it's a metal. Calcium's cool, makes your bones strong. Calcium is, like, I'd say also up there. I'll give it an 8.8 as well. Scandium has a really cool name. It's like Scandinavia. Other than that, it doesn't have a ton going for it, but, you know, cool name gives it some extra points. So that's like 8.1. 8.1 for Scandium. Titanium is sick. That's a super cool name. It's a super cool metal. It's got a lot going for it. I do think it is a little bit overhyped. There's so much stuff that's like titanium alloy and all this stuff to like sell products better. It's not all that. Like, calm down, you know? But I won't take off points for the overhyping. I just, you know, gotta voice my opinions on all the metals. And I'd say for titanium, I'm feeling a solid 9. That's 9 on the dot. Vanadium, I don't know. Vanadium's really cool because its elemental symbol is V, and V means 5 in Roman numerals. There's no connection there. But for that, I'm giving it a 5, but not because I don't like it. It's just getting a 5, but in a good way. You know, like it's closer to like a 5 out of 7 than a 5 out of 10, but I'm giving it a 5. Chromium is cool, I guess. I don't know. It's all right. I mean, like it's fine. It could be better, could be worse. Middle of the road, I'd say. 6.2. Manganese is a really, like, it reminds me of Siamese cats. The name is just, like, quite odd. And for that, I'm giving it a 4.1. So, take that, manganese. Iron's a simple 10, you know. It's that tool you get in Minecraft after mining for a little bit. You get some iron tools, you know. Iron's in everything. They use it to make steel. They combine it with carbon. That's pretty cool. Steel's really strong, and you know, iron kind of propelled humanity through modernization and got us to the point where we are today, which is awesome. Cobalt's cool. It's blue, I think, and it's, you know, just for being sick as heck and blue, it's getting a 9.8. That's, you know, I'm feeling a 9.8. Nickel, you know. It's nickel. It's kind of boring. I'm pretty sure nickels aren't actually made with nickel, but it's whatever, you know. They might be. Who knows? I don't. Somebody probably does. But yeah, just for that, just for my own preconceived notion that they're not made with nickel, it's getting a 3. Just for that, even though I'm probably wrong. It's you know, I've made my opinion about it already. Next is going to be copper. Pennies actually aren't made with copper. They're made with the following element, zinc, because it's way cheaper. Just for that, copper, you get way too much smack, you know? Copper's way cooler than people give it credit for. So I think just because of that, copper's getting an 8.8. It deserves it after all the hate it gets. Actually, it doesn't get that much hate. It's used in like wires and stuff, which that's pretty cool. It's really conductive. Zinc, ooh, I don't like zinc. I mean, like, it's cool, but like, I don't know, you know. It's an interesting metal. It's all weird looking, and you know, 5, solid 5. Not a cool 5. Not a cool 5 like vanadium. Like solid 5. Gallium is sick. Gallium is another 10. It has a really high melting point, which means you can hold it in your hand and it'll start melting. It's like you can hold molten metal just like in your hand. It won't be like super hot. It won't like mess you up in any way. It's super, super cool. If anyone gets gallium, give it to me. I want to hold it. It's really cool and I like it a lot. So yeah, simple 10. Germanium is 4. You know, just with a name like that, I really don't know anything about it. But, yeah, 4. Arsenic is weird. Arsenic is used in rat poisoning, which is cool. Rat poisoning actually wouldn't work on humans if you just fed them straight rat poisoning, because humans have a gag reflex and rats don't. I think that's true. You guys can look that up if you want. I'm not going to. I'm going to keep believing that if I need to. Yeah, arsenic's and rat poisoning. And so don't eat arsenic, but that's pretty sick. I'll give it a 7.9. 7.9. Selenium has a really cool name. Kind of boring other than that, though, if I remember correctly. So, for selenium, 7.1. 7.1 for selenium. That feels right. Bromine. Bromine is cool. It's orange, but it's always giving off this weird gas. It'll give you cancer. So don't mess with bromine after seeing this video, guys. Unless you want to. In which case, don't get cancer. That's pretty cool. But it looks really, really cool. So for that, I'll give it an 8. Just a heavy 8, you know? Solid heavy 8. Krypton's cool. It's like, kind of sounds like Superman's weakness, kryptonite. But it's a gas, not a rock. Not the country, like a rock. And it's also a noble gas, which means it has an outer ring of 8 valence electrons, which is pretty cool, but doesn't really do much other than that. It makes a pretty color when you light it up, so do most of the noble gases. But other than that, it's kind of boring. I won't lie. Next, we have rubidium. That's a cool name. 9. Next up, strontium. Not as cool of a name. 4. Next, we have yttrium. Yttrium. I don't know. It's spelled Yttrium. It's number 39. I don't know why I'm just randomly saying when the number is, but you know, it's going in the video. And I don't really know what it does. If I'm honest, I don't. I think I heard about it one time, but it was kind of unremarkable if I remember that badly. So for the name, I'll give it an 8.5. 8.5. Yeah. Zirconium is such a cool name, and still don't really know what it does. We're getting to the area where like I'm gonna have to go off vibe. This is not gonna be on like how cool I think it is. This is just gonna be like how I vibe with it, you know, how I feel about it. So, zirconium. How are we feeling about zirconium? I'm gonna say 8.6 for the name alone. Niobium is gonna be an 8.7, actually, just one above its previous little guy. Just because niobium, that's cool. That sounds kind of like a planet. Molybdenum, number 42, is whack. That's a whack name. That's whack. But it's kind of fun to say, but it's whack. So, just for how whack it is, 5.3. Technetium, dang, that is a cool name. That is such a cool name. Technetium, that sounds like a robo suit that you'd wear, like Iron Man or something. That's metal's probably not super interesting, but you know, whatever. It gets a 9. Ruthenium, kind of reminds me of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, just because she's the only person I've heard of with the name Ruth that I can think of right now. I'd say like 8.1. That's not a reflection of my opinion on Ruth Bader Ginsburg, but you know, she's cool. Rhodium, you know, 6. Rhodium, that's kind of boring. Palladium, that's cool. That's really cool. 8.5. Silver's one of the best conductors in the world. It's actually really cool. Things like the ISS or satellites don't use copper wiring. They actually use silver or gold metal to transmit electricity, which that's really cool. And I did not really know for a while that silver and gold were as good at transmitting electricity as they are. They're just so much better than copper. Cadmium's cool. That's a cool name. And I know a little bit about it, but I'm not going to go into depth because I think this recording's getting a bit long. So yeah, cadmium's cool, I guess. Let's say 8. After cadmium, we have indium. Indium is like a blue name. I'm not sure if it actually is blue, but that's pretty sick. 9. Tin. Tin is awesome. I like little tin cans. They're fun. Fun to kick around, you know. 8. Because I be kicking the cans sometimes. Is that? I don't think that's bad. Antimony that's really cool. I don't know like what it actually does, if I'm honest. Like I knew at a time, but now I don't because I'm not in chemistry anymore. But 7.6. Yeah. Tellurium 4. I don't like that name. I just don't like it. Iodine is super cool. Kind of in the same way that bromine is. I'm pretty sure they use it for surgeries to like prep wounds and stuff. Like it cleans it off. 9.3. Xenon's a simple 10. Like we're getting to the last on the list for this episode, and Xenon is an easy simple 10. Like it's super cool when you electrocute it. It lights up purple. Like what? That's so cool. I just think there aren't many things that are that much cooler than like lighting up purple when you light it up. That's super sick. It's the most reactive noble gas. Like there's tons of compounds in comparison. There's not actually that many, but in comparison to the rest of the noble gases, there's a bunch of compounds it can get into. The symbol is Xe. Its name is Xenon. Like how can you not love that? It's easy 10. So yeah, that's the end of this episode. In the next episode, we'll get to cesium through hassium, which I can already tell you hassium is going to be pretty low, unless I forget to make it low. Thank you guys for watching this YouSpin episode about me rating the elements, because I wanted to, and I wanted to do that. Thank you.